Okay, the time has finally come for me to reveal who my main Virtua Fighter is going to be. Now wait, I hear you say. Aren't you missing a few characters? You haven't done a video on Akira, Kage, Shundi, or Vanessa. And you'd be right. But to be fair, and to be honest with you guys, they were never in the running. I've tried to use them before. I even tried using them offline with other videos that I never uploaded because they weren't good. Like, I would have to put way more time even to be halfway decent with them, and I don't want to waste your guys' time, especially since they were never in contention. And I knew that going in. So I'm going to go through all the characters, give my basic overview of them, and how likely they are to be my main before revealing who my main actually is. So let's start with Pi. I said in my video that I did try to main her at one point, but I didn't really like how she had to really work for her damage a bit more. She's a character I really hate fighting against, but when I actually use her, I'm nowhere near as good as other people or the CPU seem to be with her. So, but she is decently easy to use and fun to use sometimes. Every now and then I kind of bring her out, but I would say she would have a medium chance of her being my main. There's going to be 3 tiers, high, medium, and low. And she is in the medium, I'd say. Okay, Lao Chan. Like I said in my video, he is fun, but he's kind of missing that little extra oomph to be my main. Like, I don't know, just something about him where he always feels mid to me in terms of how fun I think he is and how much I like to use him. So, much like Pi, he would be mid. So Wolf, as you saw in my video, I think he's really fun. But unfortunately, I'm not very good with the grappler archetype. He's really fun to use in casual play, but since the throw archetype, the grappler archetype, is not really something I like to use, he's unfortunately pretty low. Okay, Jeffrey. He was a bit more fun than I thought he was going to be. He's pretty easy to use. Some people say he's one of the easiest characters to use. But I don't know, he's still, much like Lao, I think it's missing something for me. Maybe he's a bit too simplistic. Nothing wrong with simplicity, but I feel like when I play simplistic characters, I'm just too linear, and I don't know. Like I said, he was more fun than I thought he was going to be, but I'd say he'd be mid. Okay, not gonna do Kage. Sarah. So at one point I did say that I tried to make her my main, and going back to her after so long, it was really hard for me to get back in the groove with her. But ever since that video on her, I've actually been playing her a bit offline and even online, and I've gotten way better with her. I'm starting to remember why I was trying to main her, because she's actually really fun, and she is a character that's all about like all out attacking and stuff, and that's the kind of character that I really like. So that's probably why I wanted to. So I'd say she has a high chance of being my main. Jackie's kind of the same way. He's very fun to use. I like his style, and I'm pretty decent with him. And so I'd say he has a high chance of being my main as well. Both the Bryant siblings, both very good. They're both fast, you know, all-out attack-like characters, so I like their style. Okay, here's another character who was more fun than I thought. I'm not sure what it is that kind of prevents me from using him more. I don't know, it's just something about him. So much like Jeffrey, while he was way more fun than I thought he was going to be, I would say he would only be maybe mid for me. Okay, so Aoi is a character that, like I said before, I tried to main at one point, but she's a bit more of a defensive character, which I've never been good with. She's definitely seemed to be gotten a lot of buffs recently with Revo, and a lot more people are using her, and I've seen her in a lot of tournaments, a lot of people doing some really good stuff with her, so she's a really good character. Maybe if I was able to put a lot more time into her, maybe I could learn how to use her. But like I said, she's more of a defensive character, which historically I've never been good with. But who knows? I'd say she's maybe mid, but maybe medium-high kind of thing. I don't know. I just think there's other characters who would be my main first. Okay, Lei Fei. Definitely a hard character to use, but definitely pretty fun. Much like Wolf, he's a fun, casual character for me, but he's way too complicated for me to make my main, so he has a pretty low chance of him being my main. Okay, not Vanessa. Brad is a character who I've always loved playing, and I've spent a lot of time with him, just trying to get better with him. He's probably one of the characters that I put the most time into trying to do something with, and even though it doesn't always really work, because for whatever reason I just can't get as good with him as I am with some other characters. I still like bringing him out. I'd say he has a decently high chance of being my main just for the simple fact that he's at least a character I want to use. Like, there's always, since I don't play, you know, professionally and I always play casually, the fact that I want to use a character is always obviously going to go a long way. Okay, Go. He's a character that, like I said, I just could never really get the hang of. I've seen other people do really well with him, but I don't think he's my style. I'm not sure what kind of style he is, but he's not mine. He's low, I'd say. Okay, so Eileen was one of the first characters I ever tried to main in this game, way back when it first released. Unfortunately, I'm not that great with her, you know, but she at least is a character who I have a lot of experience with and put a lot of time into. But I'm not really sure, I don't know, something about her that keeps me from really wanting to use her over other characters. I guess she'd be another maybe mid-high, much like Ioi, because like I said, she's another character that I tried to main, but maybe if I put more effort, I could bring out the best in her, but nah, I don't know. Okay, El Blaze. A character who I think is pretty fun casually, but I don't think I could... He is a throw-heavy character, kind of, but not so much as with Wolf, so he has that going for him. And as fun as he is, though, I don't really see myself using him as my main. I'm just not that good with him for whatever reason. I just can't really get him down, his style, and stuff like that. So I'd say mid, probably, because I still like him more than some of the other characters who are in low, and I can... Maybe if I put more time in him, I could do decent, but yeah, I don't know. Takarashi, a character who I also didn't expect to enjoy using. He's pretty decently simple, kind of like Jeffrey, but I find him to be a bit more fun. Just the fact that he can bully characters so easily and stuff like that. So I thought he would be like a low character for me, but no. I'd say if I was able to put more time into him, he could have potentially been high, but I think he'd be more medium high because I'm not sure. I don't know. I still do like the sumo archetype, but I just think there's other characters who I think I would go over him. But he was probably the biggest surprise out of all the characters because I did not expect to like him as much as I did. Okay, John. John is a character who, it's interesting, where there are characters who I tried to make my main and didn't work. Jean was never a character who I tried to make my main, but I'm actually good with. Like, it's one of those characters where it's like, well, I didn't expect this character to be my main or to be really good with, but I am. In terms of all the characters who I've tried out online, I've had the most success with John. So that makes him a high contender for being my main, just for the simple fact that I'm so good with him. If I was like driven only by how good I am with the character, like if I was playing professionally, then he would be my main. But for me, it's all about a balance of wanting to use a character and being good with that character. That's how I find my main as a casual player. So let's go over, Kosh. Let's talk about our potential candidates. We have John, Jackie, Sarah, and Brad. Those are the top 4 of potentially being my main. These are the 4 characters that have the best combination of me actually wanting to use them and me actually being good with them. I'm pretty decent with all of them, but who am I like best with and who do I like playing with? Well, I would say in terms of who I love playing the most, that would be Brad. But who I'm best with is John. So you think it would come down to these two, but you'd be wrong, because there's actually a character who is a balance of who I'm good with and who I like playing a lot, and that's Sarah. Sarah is my main. After making the video on her and going online with her and having just more fun playing casually and stuff offline, I've become actually really good with her, and I find her to be very fun. It took a little while for me to get my mojo back with her, but it all came back to me like, okay, now I remember why I mained her at one point in time, because she is really fun and I like her style. So there we go. That's my main, Sarah Bryant. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope to do more with her in the future. I want to tackle all the harder difficulties with her now that I have a main, and I don't know if Stella will be my main when Virtua Fighter, the next Virtua Fighter comes out, Virtua Fighter 6 comes out, but we'll see. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.